This is probably one of the easiest drawstring pouches you will ever make. I am using my double knit cotton yarn, recycled cotton, along with my 3.5mm hook. I will also be using this yarn needle. For this pouch, we'll be working in the round and it's only one row repeat. So it's really easy. Let's start with a different kind of, it's not a slip knot, it's just a loop to start with. So just put the hook like this and then hold on the tail and hold on the working yarn and you chain. You keep on this loop here for a little bit and then you can let go of it and then just continue holding on to the chain until you finish. So for the foundation chain, we need to work 44 chains. Then bring the beginning of the chain where you have this loop. You can pull on it gently if you can, okay? And then put the yarn through the loop as it is. It's a little bit like an 8 shape here. And then you work a slip knot through both of them. And you pull on the tail. Okay. Next, chain 1. And we are going to start working in the first available chain. And we work a single crochet. On this first row, you need to be careful to work just normal, not too tight, because we are going to be taking this second loop from the single crochet. So the first stitch is just a single crochet. After that, everything else is going to be this other stitch, which is kind of the stitch that is from the herringbone pattern, if you know it. If not, it's fine. So just single crochet, then go into the second loop of this single crochet, and then next go in through the next chain. And now you pull like you would for a half double crochet. But again, do not pull it too tight, or you can keep your finger a little bit on this third loop and then you pull through all 3. Then you go into the last one now because we have 3. Into the next chain, pull it. You have again 3 loops. Hold a little bit, pull through, and the stitch is done. And now again through the last one, through the chain, and pull. And this is literally it. This is the only stitch, I mean not the only stitch, this is the main stitch that we work on a repeat, and then at the top we are going to do a double crochet, which is very easy as well, to give it a nice edge, so it's not very simple. But this stitch is easy. Please leave a comment if you want to go slower, explain it again, make it in a bigger size yarn for better visibility, and I'll be happy to make another video. The thing is, look, I pulled too tight here. If you pull too tight on this stitch, this last loop is gonna be difficult to go through. So maybe pull a little bit here and then work through, and then it's gonna be very easy to work this stitch. Yeah, so this is the stitch. It looks really nice in my opinion. And you go around, and I'll show you how to link it here, and then it's just from over there, it's just a spiral up to wherever you want to finish it basically. Okay, so we reached the end of this round. So you go through the last loop, and then you skip this chain one where you started. You go into the first stitch. Oh, I caught something. Okay, and you pull through. And from here, you just continue with the same pattern, and you work 9 rows. So you make this for 9 rows, and then we are going to change color. For this pattern in particular, for this stitch, counting rows is super easy. You can see them clearly: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the small one, because it was from the chain, 9. So 9 rounds of this, and then we are going to add a next color. If you don't want to add, if you want to make it the same, just make 6 more rounds in the same color to give it the height of a pouch. You can make it longer, shorter, however you like, wider, anything that you like really, it's not a problem. Okay, so you go like normal through the loop, through the next stitch, and then you bring your second color, and then you pull everything through. Then you go to the loop, the next stitch, and you've done it, and you pull through the other color and the white one. Okay, you have this little overlap here, but it's not a problem. And then you continue in the second color for 6 rounds. After you finish the 6 rounds in the second color, before we continue, I like to turn everything inside out so that we can we will gonna single crochet. We are gonna single crochet the bottom, and because I didn't cut the yarn from when I changed the color, I'll just be taking this one upwards like this, and I'm going to work single crochets. Now you fasten this yarn, and then you need to weave in all these ends. To be honest with you, I don't really do that. I just make some knots, maybe very tight, because I know they won't come undone, because I've tried before. I don't like weaving in, it's just super boring for me. And if you know that you're making something for yourself, you don't really need to make it perfect. If you want to sell these, then it's better to maybe weave it in and make sure they are really secure, because you don't know how intense these will be used, maybe every day, maybe every now and then. So yeah, I just do the lazy version and make knots. And now let's continue with the top. As you can see, making the single crochet on the inside leaves a very nice bottom edge. Okay. Next, we need to do the top border where we are going to put the drawstrings, the strings. So I think I did one too many here. So your last stitch needs to end before the first one began. So it ended here. Now, in the next stitch, work a slip stitch and then a chain 3, because we are going to work double crochets. And now in every stitch for 2 rounds we are going to double crochet, 1 double crochet in every stitch. If you don't know, a double crochet is when you take yarn on your hook, you go through the stitch and you work 1, 2. Like this. And then you continue, and I'll show you what we do when we reach back to the beginning of this round. For the second round, you start by, so we finish, to finish this round, you go into the 3rd chain from the top and slip stitch and chain 3, and again double crochet into each stitch around. Because these stitches are longer, when you finish the pouch, this bit is going to be a bit wider, which is absolutely fine because it's good to have a good opening. And then when you pull the drawstrings, it's going to look really, really nice. Look, so if you can see, it's wider than the pouch, but then you pull it and it looks nice and wavy. And for the last row we are making, do a slip stitch, and in the same space get your other yarn, if you want the yarn that you started with, and work like that, a slip stitch, and then in the first stitch work a single crochet, and then for every other for all the other stitches, just a single crochet all around. This is just to tie everything in nicely. It looks very nice to have a border in a different color. So single crochet all around. When you come at the end, slip stitch and fasten off the yarn. This is how it looks. And now we need to make the strings. For the strings, it is very easy. Just make a slip knot, and then you need to chain 60 chains. And you make 2 of these, so 60 chains each, and I'll come back to show you how we are gonna weave them in. Make sure that after you chain 60, you leave a little bit of tail, because we are gonna use the yarn needle to weave them in, and the tail really helps with that. The next and final step is to weave these strings in. So whatever you do on one side, you need to do on the other, so that the strings go in the same places. So what I do is I leave one double crochet here, and then I put my yarn under the next 2 double crochets. What did I do? I pulled something. Yeah, this happens with cotton yarn. There's strings everywhere, tiny pieces. Okay, so you go under, and then over the next 2, under the next 2, over the next 2, under, again over these 2, under these 2, over here, and under. Then I have, if I go over these ones and under, only 1, because I reached the end. And again, I think I pulled on another string. That's fine. Okay, you can pull on it a bit. And now we need to weave in this end. Again, you take them 2 by 2, and at the end, if you need to go only 1, you just do that, and you need to reach back in the same space as this one. And now you do the same with the other one. You start from this side where these ends are, and you go in the same spaces. And you go through the same places the previous ones went, because otherwise it's not gonna work to pull the strings and close the pouch. You can also use only 1 string on this side, and then you just pull everything and then you close it on one side. It depends on really what you prefer. And then you do the same thing on this side as well. You can now test it to see if it works, and it does. It looks really, really nice. And then you make tiny knots on each end. Here, if you want, you can add, I don't know, a bead, a button. You can crochet a tiny flower to put here. Anything you want, really. I just like these to be simple, but they can be absolutely customizable. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.